In the hypersaturated world of modern fame, success follows a very specific set of rules. You have to be visible. You have to be posting. Asterisk, you have to be dropping content every single week just to keep your head above the water of the algorithm. In today's world, attention is the only currency that matters. And conventional wisdom says that once you lose it, it's gone forever. But every once in a while, an artist comes along who doesn't just break the rules, they set them on fire. They understand a deeper, darker truth about human psychology. That sometimes the most powerful thing you can do to become a god in the eyes of your fans is to disappear. No music, no interviews, no social media presence, just a deafening, calculated silence. That is the story of Playboi Carti. Before the mystery, before the vampire aesthetic, and before the chaotic reinvention, Carti was already on a trajectory toward superstardom. Born Jordan Carter in Atlanta, Georgia, he emerged from the SoundCloud era with a sound that felt like a glitch in the Matrix. It was minimal. It was melodic. It was almost hypnotic. While other rappers were focused on complex metaphors and lyrical acrobatics, Carti focused on something far more visceral: energy. He understood that in the club, in the car, and in the mosh pit, people don't want a lecture, they want a feeling. Songs like Magnolia didn't just climb the charts, they became the heartbeat of a generation. The Milli Rock wasn't just a dance, it was a cultural movement. Carti wasn't just making tracks. He was creating a vibe so infectious that the industry had no choice but to pay attention as his popularity exploded. He released Die Lit in 2018. The album was a masterpiece of punk rap. It was chaotic, repetitive, and addictive. It pushed his career into the stratosphere. He had the momentum, the fashion icon status, and a fan base that would follow him into battle. All he had to do was stay the course. But instead, at the very peak of his powers, Playboi Carti vanished. This wasn't just a weekend off. This was a total blackout. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. In the fast-paced world of hip-hop, 2 years of silence is usually a career death sentence. Fans were left in the dark, spiraling into confusion. Was he retired? Was he having a breakdown? Was the label blocking him? The silence was so heavy it felt intentional. But while the man himself was silent, the internet was screaming. This is where the Carti paradox began. Instead of fading away, his presence grew exponentially during his absence. This was the era of the leaks. Short, low-quality snippets of unreleased music began surfacing on the dark corners of the web. Songs like Pissy Pamper, Kid Cudi became the biggest songs in the world without ever being officially released. Fans became digital detectives, creating entire Reddit communities and Discord servers dedicated to hunting down 10-second clips of Carti, humming over a beat by saying absolutely nothing. Carti had made the world talk about him more than ever. He had turned his absence into a vacuum that the fans felt desperate to fill. Every grainy photo of him in a studio became a national news event. He had mastered the art of scarcity marketing. By making himself unavailable, he made his brand invaluable. He wasn't losing attention. He was controlling it with the precision of a master architect. And then, on Christmas Day 2020, after years of psychological torture for his fan base, the silence finally broke. Whole Lotta Red was here. The anticipation was at a fever pitch. The world expected the classic Carti sound, the catchy, melodic baby voice they had grown to love. But what they got instead was a sonic assault. The album was aggressive. It was abrasive. It was distorted, raw, and unapologetically punk. His voice had shifted into a high-pitched, gravelly screech. The beats sounded like they were bleeding. The immediate reaction was a digital riot. Twitter exploded with hate. Memes flooded the timeline, calling it the worst album of all time. People felt betrayed. They wanted Magnolia, and he gave them a nightmare. But Carti remained silent. He didn't explain the vision. He didn't defend the art. He let the world argue. And then, the WLR effect took hold. As the days passed, people kept listening. Not because they liked it at first, but because they couldn't stop thinking about it. Slowly, the same people who trashed the album began to realize that Carti hadn't missed the mark. He had moved the goalposts. He had anticipated where music was going before the world was ready for it. Whole Lotta Red started to sound like the future. The aggressive energy, the distorted bass, and the Vamp aesthetic began to influence every new artist on the scene. Carti didn't just return with an album. He returned as a completely different entity. He had shed his pretty boy rapper image for something much darker. He embraced the Vamp persona: black leather, face paint, spiked hair, and a distant, almost alien-like demeanor. He wasn't a rapper anymore. He was a cult leader. His live shows transformed into some of the most dangerous and electric experiences in music history. The King Vamp tour saw mosh pits so intense they looked like scenes from a war movie. He would stand on top of massive structures, silhouetted in red light, screaming into the void, while thousands of kids lost their minds below. It wasn't a concert. It was a religious experience for a generation that felt misunderstood. Everything about his comeback was a masterstroke of branding. The silence made the release an event. The radical change in sound made the album a conversation. The new image made him a mystery that people are still trying to solve today. He proved that in a world of oversharing, the person who shares the least has the most power. Today, Playboi Carti exists in a stratosphere of his own. He doesn't drop on a schedule. He doesn't do traditional promo. He lets the leaks, the fan theories, and the mystery do the work for him. He has built a community that is so loyal they will wait years for a single song, because he has taught them that the wait is part of the art. His story is a masterclass in impact over visibility. He doesn't follow trends. He waits for the world to catch up to his own. He understands that if you are always there, you are common. But if you disappear and return different, you are legendary. He didn't lose his audience during those dark years of silence. He tested them. He made them crave his voice. And in doing so, he turned himself from a rapper into an icon. He proved that the smartest move you can make in a world that never stops talking is to be the only one who knows when to shut up. Because when you control your absence, you control your legacy. And Playboi Carti is the king of the void.